this weekend, opening weekend for Southern Miss baseball. Right now, I'm talking to Southern Miss head coach Scott Berry. How you doing today, Coach?
Jamie, doing fine. Just trying to get everything ready for that opener on February 17th. So, trying to put in all the last little minute details that we need to do. So, but a pleasure coming on speaking with you tonight.
Oh, thank you. It's the first time we've had you on, so it's an honor and glad we could make it happen.
Well, likewise.
The last time the Golden Eagles took the field at the Pete, they won the conference championship in one of the most exciting endings in Southern Miss history. What kind of impact did that championship have on the program?
Well, I think it certainly put a taste in all the guys who returned what it's like to work hard for the course of a year and stay consistent, and the importance of really doing what it takes to get yourself an opportunity like we did there in that conference championship on that Sunday. I got to believe that it creates that momentum that we've been trying to create for ourselves for the past 4 years. So, I feel like that we have that momentum now coming off from that tournament as we start this new 2017 season.
What's the mentality of the team going into the 2017 season?
I think it's very confident. In all honesty, I mean, what I can see among our players, they seem to really gel well together. Of course, we haven't played a game yet, so chemistry is yet to really take hold like we need it to. Just from the mere fact that when we start playing, now not everybody plays every day, and they have to be ready to play those roles. But, up to this point, Jamie, guys have really gotten along well together. I think that they've pushed one another. They've held each other accountable and how we're going to do things and how we play the game and the toughness that you have to have day in, day out to play on this level. So, I like the attitude going into this season. And I think it's been really the tone's been set by our upperclassmen and those returners that have got a taste of that regional play and that conference championship last year.
You lost some really talented players, but you like you said, you had a lot of guys coming back with a lot of experience and a lot of leadership abilities. Guys like Kurt McCarty, Hayden Roberts, Taylor Braley. Talk to us about the Golden Eagles that are coming back for this 2017 season.
Well, on the position player side, we returned 5 guys who had 100+ at bats. So that's 5 that have a lot of experience on their side. And then if you count another one, Taylor Braley, he was just 4 at bats short of 100. So he had 96 at bats. So really, you had 6 guys that have a lot of experience coming back position player wise. I really feel like that with those guys coming back and the guys that we've brought in, we've got as much depth, Jamie, as we've ever had since I've been here now going into the 17th year on the position player side. Pitching, we took a little bit of a hit there. We lost 315 innings worth of work out of guys that are no longer in the program. And so those guys that have returned, certainly their workload will probably get extended a little bit. And, we're talking about Kurt McCarty and Hayden Roberts, Stevie Powers, Nick Sandlin. Those are big names returning for us. But, we've got to get these newcomers inserted in there and their roles and really let them get to work and, hope that they pick up that slack that we're lacking in that void from those guys from last year that are no longer with us.
Who are some of the newcomers that should make an impact right away?
On the position player side, I see a couple of guys. Number one, our catcher, Cole Donaldson. He's a junior college transfer from Hutchinson Junior College out in Kansas. Very athletic catcher, very, very strong arm, quick, handles the bat well, has some deceiving power at the plate, which, you look at his body and he's kind of rangy. I've told people before he's kind of like a Benito Santiago type kid, just really quick and really makes a statement defensively to the opposition. But, I look for him to be an impact as a newcomer. Another kid named Matt Wallner, who's a true freshman out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's going to be a guy that's going to be two-way for us. He'll play in the outfield. He'll DH. He's a power-hitting left-handed hitter. But he also will see action on the mound. He's 90-plus off the mound, throws a really heavy ball, good slider. So, he's a guy that's a little bit ahead of his age as far as his presence and what he brings to the field in a game situation. On the mound, I think you look at another freshman, Cody Carroll, out of the Florida area down around Orlando. He's been a very, very pleasant surprise on the mound as a starter. So, you look for him to really contribute, along with a lot of other guys. You talk about Colt Smith, he's a junior college transfer. Calder Michael's a junior college transfer. So, and we've got several of those guys, and a nice mix of younger guys as well.
Well, this Friday night, February 17th, 4 p.m., opening night.
That's correct.
What can you tell us about this Northeastern baseball team?
They're coached by Tom Glavin's brother, Mike Glavin, who had a little time in the big leagues. He spent most of his time there at Northeastern as an assistant coach, but took over as the head coach. I think this will be his third year or fourth year as a head coach. Last year, they put together a really good season for them, and they'll be very disciplined. Like most northern clubs early in the year, they'll probably really be able to hit because of weather-related issues. They don't usually get out on their field, and so a lot of times those teams, they're kind of quarantined inside of a gym or whatever, hitting, and they do a lot of hitting. I mean, I've lived that. I'm from the Midwest, and I know what the cold weather does to people that play baseball. So, but they will be extremely excited, even if it's probably 35 degrees when they get down here, that it's warm to them. So the opportunity to come south and open up, get out on green grass, certainly is going to bring about that energy that Coach Glavin's wanting. But I can assure you, they'll be ready to go. It's like I tell people every day, they're practicing to beat us just like we're practicing to beat them.
Conference USA, usually one of the top baseball conferences in the country. What are your thoughts on Conference USA this season?
Parity has just continued to improve in our league. We've had a lot of different programs that have joined us, and some that have, exited going to another conference over the last 2 or 3 years. But I think from a baseball standpoint, this is a very, very strong league. There were only 2 leagues last year that had more teams that made the NCAA tournament than us, and that was the SEC and the ACC. I mean, us and the Pac-12 both had 4 teams that made it. So, that says a lot about our league and where we are with our baseball. So, I think that we can all come out with the preseason polls, but, nobody really knows what everybody's got. I know that there's a lot of teams that have reloaded with a lot of new faces on their team. We've got some teams that are returning a lot of people, maybe more on the offense than the defense. So until everybody starts competing, I think everybody's pretty much balanced and the same.
You've got one of the best second basemen in Major League Baseball right now, a Southern Miss alum that's been, hanging out around the team, been out at the clubhouse, been taking BP. What has it been like having Brian Dozier back around during this offseason?
Sometimes you just got to pinch yourself and say, God, man, this dude is an all-star now in Major Leagues. He hit 42 home runs this last year. But you know what? You don't even notice it when he's here around us because he's just like one of those guys. I mean, I draw attention to it all the time. He's the guy that takes BP. He's the big leaguer. He's the all-star guy. And he's the guy that's in there picking up balls in the cages just like the players. And, there's not many that do that. But, that's Brian. Brian is the most humble human being I think I've ever been around for that status, that celebrity status that he now holds. So it's awesome. I mean, our guys, I mean, they're just like they're all the same. I mean, it's pretty neat to watch. Nobody really looks at him as a big leaguer. They just look at him as a baseball player out there that's working to get better at the game just like they are.
There's a lot of games in your college baseball season, and it seems like every so often teams may overlook other teams. They may go on a run. How do you keep the team motivated, and how difficult is it to survive success with a season that long?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Being a baseball coach is probably one of the toughest jobs there is, and trying to motivate kids, because it's hard to come in there and for 56 regular season games and give some kind of motivational speech. I mean, it really is. So what you have to do is you just have to emphasize at the very beginning that you have to understand that our job is to go out and play one game at a time. And every game that we're playing is the most important game on the schedule at that time. It's not the one that we just finished. It's not the one that's tomorrow or 2 weeks from now. It's that game that we're playing. And you have to really drive that mindset in those kids and yourself that you have to lock in. And, you know, it doesn't come from some kind of speech that somebody gives. It's just knowing and being accountable for what we have to do day in, day out to play at this level and play in Division I baseball, because every game is important. You can't take a game off. You know, in 2015, you know, we look back and one series, I guess, is what kept us out of the NCAA tournament. You know, I felt like other than that series, we played very, very good baseball for that whole year, and we were very disappointed to be left out and see our name as one of the last five out when, you know, there was a couple of clubs that got in that we felt like we should have been in there before them. But, you know, that just goes back, it points back to that one series where we dropped 2 out of 3 there early in the year. That, you know, is probably the one that kept us out. So you just play every game like it's the only game on your schedule.
You know, Southern Miss has, you know, some of the best fan support in the country as far as baseball goes, you know, but there's still always room for improvement. What would you say to a casual fan or a casual Southern Miss fan to try to encourage them to buy season tickets?
That I just don't think that there's a better bargain for your money out there in a sporting venue, particularly in our town or in our community or in our area, South Mississippi. I think it's so fan friendly. You've got a venue where there's not a bad seat in the house. It's like tailgating at a football game, but you get to tailgate inside the fences. You know, you don't have to leave your tailgate area to go watch the game. You know, if you're a roof spot holder, certainly you have the advantage. If you're not, then you need to get out there and socialize and meet with them, because they love and welcome anybody that comes out there. So, you know, it's a great opportunity for young business executives to network their jobs with other executives. It's a great place for businesses to entertain customers. It's a great opportunity for a business owner to say to an employee, maybe it's a single parent with 3 or 4 kids that might not be able to afford that, and just to basically say, hey, go watch Southern Miss this game or this weekend. Here's some tickets. So I think the return on it is outstanding, Jamie. I just don't think a lot of times that you can measure the impact that somebody may have from coming to a game, whether it's a little kid in motivating him to one day work hard to be a college baseball player because he fell in love with watching that game at Southern Miss, or just becoming that Southern Miss fan and what our trademark is. So I think it's a great value for your money.
The conference championship is May 24th through the 28th at MGM Park in Biloxi. I'm really excited about it. I mean, you'd rather have it at the Pete over anywhere else, but in a close second would have to be MGM Park in Biloxi. What are your thoughts on playing this tournament down in Biloxi?
Well, first of all, we got to make it.
Well, that's true.
8 teams that make it. So, and that's been the case every year. You know, I mean, that's no stranger. It's certainly the last 3 years hosting at Pete Taylor Park, you know, was a little bit of added pressure to make sure that you're there, but you know, there's pressure there too. Second of all, we're 0-2 at MGM. So I need to get down there and we need to figure out how to win at that park. And, you know, we do have 2 regular season games there this year where we place Nicholls State one game and then Southeastern Louisiana another game. So, you know, that was the same way it was going into Pensacola this past year. You know, our record going into it was like 0-3 and a tie. And then last year we were able to go in there and sweep and get it back to 3-3-1. So, you know, we need to be able to do that too. It's a great venue. You know, it's a beautiful setting down there in beautiful Biloxi, Mississippi, with a lot of things to do. I'm excited about them hosting it because I know they're going to do it right. I've been in several conversations with them, just giving ideas and them wanting to know exactly how to do it and do it right. So I know the enthusiasm on Biloxi's part of really showcasing and making this Conference USA a great tournament is top on their minds right now.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Best of luck this season. Do you have any final words for the Southern Miss fans out there?
No, other than just I appreciate all the support. We were 20th in the country last year in total attendance ranked. We were number one in our conference in attendance. We just need to continue to build on that. Our record for season ticket sales was 1,448 back in 2009. Ironically, that's the year that we went to the College World Series in Omaha. So my goal was to sell 1,500 or more. I need help to do that by everybody in the community. And I think, if it means that we set a record selling season tickets, that's how we go to Omaha, then we need to get 1,500 or more for sure. So, but, our program, our players, our whole athletic department, relies on the energy that those fans bring to any athletic event, especially with baseball. If we can recreate that same feeling that we had on that Sunday, championship Sunday last year against Rice, man, it's going to be hard to get beat at home.